Hey, what's up, everyone? You're currently tuned into TBD on KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara and netradio.com Tijuana. Today, Light Talk and I are joined over the phone with Rob Frye and Daniel Quinlivan of the Chicago psychedelic trio Bitchin Bajas. You can find their latest album, Bahasa Leaders, out now on Drag City. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
Hey, God bless. It's really sick to have you guys here.
Yeah, God is great.
God is great. So guys, thanks for joining us. How's your month been? You know, it's been like a new year and stuff. How's everything been going? You guys are about to go on tour. Are there any certain landmarks or favorite roadside eateries you guys are trying to stop by while you're on tour?
Well, the month has been going good.
Yeah, we're like in between a trip that we did out east and back in December, and then coming out west in early February.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Birthday recently.
Oh, happy birthday, dude.
Thank you.
And great work.
Oh, yeah. And as far as roadside food goes, it's been a minute since I've been out west, but I think the last time we were there, we got some oysters.
Oh,
sick.
By Lucas, like the Skywalker Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. I don't know where that is. Where's that at?
It's like north of.
It's up in Marin County, north of San Francisco.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think the last time we were in California, we went to Skywalker Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll go there again.
Yeah, that'd be sick, dude.
You doing a show for Industrial Light and Magic over there?
More of an audition.
Well, that's good. I'll be excited to see how that goes.
Do you guys have any like resolutions that you're trying to complete, or do you have any resolutions you're in the process of for 2023?
Not really. Just try to work out more. I guess keep physical fitness up.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, we do pretty well on tour. I think of like at every gas station, we're the guys like doing jumping jacks and push-ups like at the gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
You're not and you're not buying the jerky.
Yeah,
we're buying the jerky.
Okay.
We're definitely buying the jerky.
It's keto, man. Come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not just like loading up on Slim Jims and like hot Cheetos and stuff.
It's a balance, you know.
Yeah.
It's a.
We like to go to the free store that we call Whole Foods a lot.
Oh, hell yeah.
Always got a blank check when I go in there.
Yeah. They're surprisingly generous to bands on tour.
Yeah, right.
They don't put the security by the door at all. You can
just load a cart and walk out. I don't think they can stop you. You know what I mean?
Probably not in California.
What is it? $5 5-finger discount. Sorry. Anyways, Maddie, do you want to like start us off on like?
I guess we should start us off because with the tour going up or coming on, everybody wants though maybe to know the origins of the Bitchin Bajas. But for both you and Daniel and Rob, could you just take us back kind of to your origins and upbringings getting into this universe of sounds, specifically pre even the band Cave, so maybe like pre 2006 even, and how that kind of phased off into the Bitchin Bajas?
Well, I guess I got started kind of playing music in a band called Chandeliers from Chicago. I guess that was my first serious band.
That's sick.
That I started with friends in college, and it was at the time somewhat odd to have only synthesizers in a band. It was like 4 of us playing synths.
Oh my goodness.
That's sick.
And
Yeah.
you've all been Chicago
believe
based?
it. What is
Whoa.
that?
Always Chicago based?
Yeah. I'm originally from Wilmette, and then I went to DePaul for college.
Oh, wow.
Kind of just stuck around. And then I actually joined a band called Mahjong, which was full of Missouri people.
Oh, sick.
That's how I kind of got to know people from Missouri, was through the band Mahjong.
That's cool. So
Okay.
can you find like recordings of these old bands still?
Yeah, Mahjong, we put out records on like K.
Really?
Oh.
That's sick.
Wow.
And then Chandeliers, their stuff. I forget. It's like smaller press labels. I guess. Yeah. But yeah, you can find it. It's on the internet.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to take a look. It was called Mahjong and then Chandeliers.
Yeah.
That's tight.
Dang. In the past decade or so, kind of just in terms of Chicago, has there been a shift in that community, you say? A lot of the music that you guys doing, at least when you talk to people, come across as it's jam. There's a lot of jam to this. And are there more jammers than there were about a decade ago, you say?
Yeah. I mean, that stopped being like a dirty word. So I feel people are more. they're more open to like embracing that sort of notion of, you know, modal jams kind of, and it's like, and it's funny because I feel like the people coming from an actual jam band based like mentality are like way more open to bands that, you know, you wouldn't think of being jam bands.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, I mean they're heads, they don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of people I didn't know are huge Fish fans in my life that eventually I found out like, oh, these dudes are huge Fish fans. And it's like, but you know, they play like jazz or they play like, you know.
Also just like big fans of music in general.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we get tie-dyes at the shows sometimes.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. It happens. But I would say that, yeah. I guess also kind of more like, I guess Chicago's always been sort of like cross-pollinating of scenes a little bit, but there's more kind of integration, I would say, of electronics and jazz. Would this say like a major shift within like the last 10-ish years?
Yeah.
Actually, probably go on.
Oh, no, I was wondering, has it been easy to kind of get the gear that you need for the sound you're chasing after?
I mean, easy, sort of. There's more stuff available. And I think you have to like mold your sound to like the resources you have.
Yeah, and to like what you have.
Like our live setup's a bit onerous, I guess, in certain ways. But sometimes when we do like collaborations with more jazz-based products, we sort of tone it down a little bit to a low roar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Rob, I want to ask the same question to you too, though. Like, what were your DIY origins and stuff as well? Before we like go too far away from that.
Well, I am a Missouri people, but not the ones Dan was talking about meeting up with. Just I grew up in St. Louis and also actually went to DePaul University, but
that's
a little
sick.
later than Dan and
Blue Demons.
Yeah. Which it was actually the school that did not have a marching band, which was part of the appeal to me. Even though marching band was all right with me back then, it's just kind of like, I'm just gonna play music and hang out in Chicago because that's like where I really wanted to be. And then kind of first kind of connection with the scene was with a band I played with called L is a Sound of Joy, and it was kind of like we would always play at the end of the show. Kind of freak out, very free, improvised, but like mixing a lot of stuff. So probably started running into people like Cooper and Dan at those shows.
Well, yeah, we met Rob, Cooper and I. He was playing a show next to where we were recording.
Oh, really? That's sick.
And then I was like, who's this guy on like Kalimba? And I looked up closer. I was like, is that motherfucker playing a bike tire? In fact, he was.
Yeah, that's sick. I guess like while we're on the topic of like the bike tire you mentioned, do you want to talk a little bit about like Flex Bikes and like what that is and like how it was started?
Blow up your spot.
I mean, sure, yeah. It's I just ride a bike everywhere. It was like it's just a good way to get around in Chicago. There's it's flat here. It's the fastest way sometimes to get where you're going.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just out of a practical thing, just playing my bike wheel. It sounds cool with a contact mic.
Yeah.
And yeah, that actually is indeed how we kind of met, just at these, shows like where it's like, a few bands playing downstairs and upstairs, kind of back and forth. I think I was playing upstairs. Rotten Milk, our friend, was there.
That's sick.
And a bunch of friends, but yeah.
Well, it's Flex Bike. So is that the one doing the current installation in like your car?
No.
That's a Rob Frye solo.
Everybody's that's the nice thing about Chicago. There's like there's a lot of different avenues to like create and to collaborate. And so yeah.
Are you guys like a part of like the ESS community type stuff that's going down?
Well, currently, Rob Frye, as a solo musician, has sound installation up.
Through ESS at
That's
the
sick.
Lincoln Park Conservatory there in Chicago. They have an installation called Fluorosonic, and they invited me to do. It's like it's in the Fern Room. So, but experimental sound studio is awesome. Shout out to them.
ESS is really cool. I really liked watching a bunch of their like quarantine concerts like a few years ago or a couple of years ago or whatever. Yeah,
Goodness.
they have like a huge like their YouTube channel is insane. Like if you're into this music, anybody listening, you should check out the ESS YouTube channel. But Rob, I was like looking at your blog too, and it looks like you're really into like bike packing as well. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, I do like a bike tour every year. Actually in 2011, my twin brother Martin and I rode from Los Angeles to Sacramento.
Mhm.
We went up the coast through San Francisco, and so that was probably the first like really big ride I did. But yeah, I still do like a bike ride every summer, or not always summer, but yeah, it's fantastic. It's really liberating to get out on a bike for multiple days. Highly recommend it.
I think that's
Rob
so
is
sick.
also
Like
a birder. He has
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I was
quite
also
the
looking
naturalist.
at like your birdscape stuff on your blog too. At your 2011 tour, I saw that you guys like stopped in Santa Barbara. I don't know. I thought that was so cool how you guys would like do a mix of like playing in like I guess actual venues and then or like I don't know wherever a bike shop or something and then just
I
like
think
playing
we
on the
played at
street.
farmers market in Santa Barbara.
Oh, did you? That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Your blog is sick. Like looking back at like all of like the old photos you would post, like it just looks like the most like 2011 shit like I've ever seen. Like just like I guess with the quality of the images, it just looks like very nostalgic.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's all definitely pre-smartphone. But yeah,
you like Tumblr core.
it's a blog spot. I've really considered abandoning it, but now I don't think I can because there's one person out there that's looking at it.
Dude, you
That's all
definitely
it takes.
shouldn't abandon it. Like I was looking at that like when we were like, writing up like our questions and stuff. And I was like texting Maddie and I was like, dude, this blog is sick. Like it just looks like so like DIY, like I don't know, it's cool. Like
It brought back some stuff because it reminds me of like the mutual benefit blog that guy was running in that era. And that links to like Matthew Sage's old blog. And it just all, no, you got to keep going.
I think that's where Bitchin Bajas comes out of too. Like we all were playing in the late aughts,
Mhm.
like that's where we met, was in that scene. We're still together. Like it's just kind of, that's, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of part of our identity for sure.
A lot of those releases also, and it's been kept through the entire catalog really, are cassettes. And I'm wondering again, at the moment, they're like really 2008 to 2012. What were labels that stood out to you specifically?
As far as
I guess just stuff you're like
labels in
listening.
general.
Cassette labels mostly.
I guess I kind of feel most of the cassettes I've had have been self-released, or like things I've gotten from people.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
artists that stand out then, stuff of that nature.
And I guess I
Anyways.
like stuff on Catholic tapes, like
There we go.
Brett's label.
Yeah, some friends
That's
of
cool.
ours that have done stuff, Brett Nocky's Catholic tapes. And then we had Jake Acosta was doing Lake Paradise.
Yes, I got his rehearsal park over here. That's
Yeah.
a great.
Totally.
That's sick.
Yeah, and there were, it is kind of like, oh yeah, there used to be a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are still doing that though too. I shouldn't say that, but yeah.
You might not know this about me, Rob, but I briefly had a tape label.
Oh, really? What was your
called
tape label?
Stars of David.
That's sick.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff were you putting out?
It was like DJ mixes of the bands I was in.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, we would just make mixes, like kind of like hot mixes, like stuff you'd get from, I don't know, this in Chicago, you could always buy tapes in thrift stores, so people would just like record B96 from 1984 or WDMX.
Mhm.
So just like someone just straight up taping the radio.
Yeah.
I try to emulate stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Great. Did want to talk a little bit about some of the solo stuff that both of you guys have done kind of off of other spears. Dan, you had a release with Moon Bros, Matthew Schneider, and that was the new hard folk, if I recall, for Unifactor. Could you talk a little bit about what was going on there?
I think it's another Robbie question. I guess, am I on that one? I don't think so.
Are you? You might actually have. You might be on like one thing. We were. Matt Schneider is a good friend of ours, and was like doesn't live in Chicago right now, but
He moved to Colorado. I saw.
yeah,
I liked his La Jazz Mystique tape. I got that.
yeah.
Good stuff.
But we were hanging out a lot before he moved, and playing guitar at home.
That's sick.
Really, yeah, just playing guitars together, like, and Dan too. There was, so yeah, just recording at home, basically. That's where that kind of stuff comes from.
And Matt Schneider installed the floors that we're standing on or sitting on right
Oh,
now.
really?
Yes.
That's sick.
Great carpenter.
That's dope.
rules.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of sick.
Who's the
Go ahead, Manny.
Oh. Yeah, who in the Chicago scene's like the biggest handyman there? Is it Matt Schneider? Are there other people with like kind of incredible talents like that you call upon?
He was up there.
Yeah.
There was like Jason Adashevitz can do some stuff. I don't know if you know Vibes player.
Keith Jackson.
Keith Jackson.
Oh, sick.
This dude Noah, who is in like HIM. He is an amazing plumber.
Really? That's
Noel.
tight.
Noel Coopersmith.
Yeah, Noel Coopersmith.
Jim Dorling, quite handy
Yeah, he can get
from Town and Country.
Oh,
That's dope.
Here's a throwback band. Shout out Throw Jockey.
See, we all come from more manual labor backgrounds where we're all furniture movers of some degree or another.
My brother's a furniture mover. He does printing. He does printing press on the side stuff. But
In fact, I have a job moving furniture tomorrow morning.
Dude, that's so sick. So you guys are still doing that? That's cool.
I got out the game a little bit ago, but Rob's still keeping it strong.
It's more just something that during the pandemic was a fallback.
Yeah.
Moving furniture will never be a remote job.
Yeah.
I can say that.
have you got some gnarly tips and good stories from that? I'm assuming.
Yeah. What's your number one furniture moving story?
This was a weird one. The weirdest one I ever did was it was like on the far south side of Chicago, which like the south side of Chicago goes, you get far enough, it gets like white Irish Catholic again.
Yeah.
And it was a woman who had just come out as transgender to their family. So the wife divorced, immediate divorce. So it was like moving this person out of their house, and their family was not thrilled about their journey.
Oh, goodness.
That's unfortunate.
Oh my God.
But their house was also filled with like the most interesting, intricate stuff because it seemed like this person was trying to distract themselves. So they had like the nicest tree house I've ever seen, like an intense like aquarium system in the basement and like all this like amazing stuff. But then like one day when she became her true self, the wife was like, "You must leave."
That is so sad.
That was the most like intense job I've ever done.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Breakup jobs are tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like the tension around that.
It's like we have to be done before 5 o'clock.
Oh,
that is intense on your guys' part too. That's wild.
Kudos to y'all for trying then to make that into music, make the most soothing sounds.
I've often thought of doing a concept album about moving furniture. One day.
Yeah, please. Honestly, that'd be sick.
Bahasa movers.
Maybe like, I don't know, each piece of furniture that like you're gonna move, you gotta attach like a contact mic to or something like that. I don't know how that would work, but another one of our favorite records was Rob's Exoplanet on Astral Spirits. Do you want to just talk a bit about that real quick?
How you lucked into doing 2 albums for Astral Spirits in the same time frame?
Yeah, just sort of is the way it went. Dan played a big part in that one too, as well as Cooper with Exoplanet. Being kind of a similar process that we do. It's kind of like a side project thing, but it was kind of like I'm also kind of doing a lot of band leading and arranging and things. And wait, what do you want to know about Exoplanet?
Why is it so dope? How did it?
Yeah. Like, why is it dope, dude? How did it end up being so sick?
The idea was kind of just mixing like electronics and like mixing like improvising musicians and kind of like a little bit more structure too. And kind of making like an album that has like a, feels like a story goes by or like a journey kind of thing, I guess. But kind of like trying to hide some mystery in there as well.
I like to think of it as like, how members of the Grateful Dead would put out solo albums, but the Grateful Dead are just on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I like to think of like
Yeah.
some of
So
our solo ventures.
Yeah, that's sick.
okay, so then by this logic, I guess we'll jump off to one of my favorite pieces of Bitchin Bajas music, which is Jacqueline. And the fact that you guys are the backing band for Jackie Lynn's project or the Haley 4 project.
Yeah, I guess it's like we play music together, the three of us. And a lot of it's kind of like it's really nice to like kind of have someone like lead the way on a thing and kind of like we can be this chameleon type of thing for a project like Jackie Lynn.
Yeah, that's
for
cool.
Exoplanet, or right now we're working with Mike Reed and his
sick.
group called the Separatist Party.
That's cool.
Which is again us three, but with Mike Reed, Ben Lamar Gay, and Marvin Tate.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
That's dope.
So doing like more of like Mike's tunes, but like I guess we're both, or like when we worked with Josh too, with Natural Information Society, kind of like establish things, trying to like get a little bit in each other's worlds, and it's and again just kind of it's just what happens in Chicago. It's a great place to play.
What again I love about the album is that it's a sound set that, especially because after Baja's Fresh, Bitchin Bajas kind of, there aren't a lot of releases in that time frame for the next 3 years. And so to see a completely different sound palette with the same like synthesizers reemerge, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it adds to something that I really just appreciate about y'all's music, which is when it reformulates, it comes back and it's always very crystalline. You just know it.
Yeah, it's for me personally, I always think of like us in the side projects is still us in this weird way. So when sometimes when people are like, oh, you guys haven't put an album in 5 years, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we've done all this shit. Like,
yeah.
But I realize it's by, I understand what you're saying. And that was actually that band, like when everything shut down, it's like we canceled the world tour.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys had a world tour booked? That's insane.
Like, yeah. I mean, going to like Australia and New Zealand and Europe, to me, that counts as the world.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
100%.
So you actually do the
That's
Australia
sick.
New Zealand stuff. That doesn't, have you guys been down there at all for Bitchin Bajas?
I have not. We were going to do Bitchin Bajas dates. We were going to like sort of piggyback on the Jackie Lynn tour because we're all there.
Yeah.
But
That would
then
be. Oh.
we have not.
It happens.
Is there still any chance you think that those tunes are going to get performed? Because I know, I mean, she's still done Circuit Desio live, but I haven't seen any tour dates for Jackie Lynn, and I don't know if that was going to ever happen.
I have a feeling that one might be put to bed.
Oh,
That's unfortunate.
But you never know.
Yeah, you don't know. I saw Haley on my birthday.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hell yeah.
I like the 20th anniversary tour. They come out.
Give all the outtakes, all everything.
Oh, brilliant.
If Jackie makes another entrance, it'll be spectacular. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know, though, again, you had mentioned the Natural Information Society, and there's the interview that Cooper had done with Aquarium Drunkard. So are you guys kind of still in like an exploratory stage of doing more improvs with them?
Yeah, there's an album not in the can, but it's like there's 70% of it's 70% done.
Yeah.
I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
great.
like we kind of sometimes move like molasses, like in our process, where it's like I don't know why it takes so long sometimes, but sometimes I do. But I think if we do one more session with them, I think then we'll have a full album.
Oh, that'd be sick.
I think.
What? Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about moving like molasses there, what are some of the ways you get through that? And in regards, like, what album really has taken the longest probably to write, or the shortest?
The shortest is probably the Sun Ra one, I guess. From
yeah.
Soup to Nuts.
yeah, the either Switched on Raw or also the first Jackie album went real quick. Like I think
Yeah, it was like 3 days.
a few days.
Oh wow.
But
Whoa.
yeah, but I mean, folks are just busy. Some members like of Natural Information don't live here in Chicago, so it's kind of like we just get together when we can.
Yeah.
And we played on New Year's Eve with them.
Oh wow.
With Separatist Party and Natural Information Society.
And that was like a live gig or just like, I don't know. Just
It was a show here
wow,
at
okay.
Constellation in Chicago, like a New Year's Eve show.
Oh, that's so sick actually. Yeah. So what has been changing in the way you guys approach synthesizers over the past like half decade since Baja's Fresh? We realized, or we were reading in an interview, that there was like a robbery in Europe that kind of like changed your guys' gear setup. How did that come across when writing cuts for and into switched on raw and Baja oscillators?
The cuts for comp as well.
Yeah. I think once we got, I guess the robbery really changed the way we toured that tour the most. Of just like, of actually just having to be like, what exists in stores in Italy right now to buy?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's kind of wild. So like, how did you even know like what stores to go to? Were you just like asking like local heads and stuff like, hey, what's a good place to buy cool music gear? Like,
Yeah. We actually got, I forget the name of the store, but someone recommended us like actually one of the nicest synth stores I've ever seen. But it was like, well, I don't have 4,000 euros.
Yeah.
To buy this. This is amazing. I'm so glad you have all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of not feeling a big expense right now.
Yeah, I feel that.
So we sort of just cobbled together stuff from like their versions of Guitar Center and like other things. Like honestly, one of the biggest expenses I never thought about was just like instrument cables.
Yeah.
It's like, would you have them the whole time if you played in bands long enough? They just kind of exist. You know what I mean? It's never like, I need to buy all of these cables.
Yeah.
You kind of have them.
I know where all my cables are going.
And there's no Sweetwater rep over there to help you.
Yeah, right.
But once we got home, we kind of just like reestablished what we lost in certain ways. So like I wouldn't say that fundamentally changed the way overall we made music. It's like, we kind of were like stubborn of being like, no, we're getting all the same shit back. Though I do have speaking of concept albums again, I really have a fantasy about like the people who stole all our stuff, like made an album. Like
that'd be sick.
You can't really, it's like if they were just like realize like, man, I gotta like stop being a thief. And they sort of like come to terms with like goodness by making an album with our instruments that they stole.
It's just a self-reflection album,
like, play a show. That's how I like to think about it.
Maybe one day they'll hit you up for like a Europe tour or something and be like, hey, do you guys want to tour together? Like, we really want to apologize. We'll like,
yeah, and then they'll like, yeah,
we'll pay for all your expenses.
They're from Italy. They probably heard like Italo disco before. They have like a synth background.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
up like emotions they had in their youth of like innocence before they were corrupted into the underworld.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
So you guys, did you guys end up finishing that tour when you guys were, you had your stolen? Yeah.
Yeah, we only missed one show.
We canceled the show that day and went and just headed towards the next show and just, went to a music store.
That's cool.
Got a delay pedal and a flute and
hell yeah. So do you feel like
a live digital record of like the post theft show?
Yes. Atelier Klaus from Brussels. They put out it was just like a few days after the robbery that we played there, and they recorded it and put it out.
Really? That's actually pretty cool. Page. Wow. So like, were you able to like kind of recreate the same sound, or was it just like something kind of like entirely different with the gear you had?
It's similar. You couldn't be as precious as you would before, because once you are on tour for a little bit, we'd really dialed it in.
Yeah. But
it's just kind of only we would notice sometimes that like it changed. I guess I would say.
That's cool. So I guess just like on the, what were you going to say?
I think we had to take some songs out of the set and kind of just play maybe a couple older things and just kind of like play more just musically rather than like getting through more technical things. And I think in the end, it was not a bad experience to go through that, because it's kind of like, you are who you are, with no matter what you have. So
did I have to use a soft synth on a song? I'm not saying.
Rob, did that mean that there was a bigger exchange of the woodwinds? Was the ratio up in the sound?
I think maybe I played more, but I mean, not everything was stolen, so we even traded some stuff. Like I know Cooper had a synth stolen but I still had mine. So for instance, he played that one, and I just played some, maybe more flute or something. But
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
Yeah, they only took the stuff that was in like suitcases, like commercials, that we bring on a plane.
Oh, interesting.
But all like the gear kind of cases they didn't take, which was
interesting
a
choice.
good awakening for them, I'm sure. When they
yeah,
these are some great Italian criminals. These guys are masterminds.
So you think they were expecting to like find clothes or something in the suitcases? Like,
I imagine they're looking for laptops and phones.
Oh, I see.
I have to imagine.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess just like while we're still on the topic of Europe, what was your favorite city that you guys stopped in?
I'm still a London fan.
Oh, really? That's cool.
No, I know it's not exotic or remarkable, but it's like I really like London.
That's cool. Yeah, I want to check out London at some point. How about you, Rob? Did you have a favorite city you stopped in?
We had a good time, not with Bajas, but with Cave in Ostend, Belgium. There's
nice.
Belgian, there's like a coast there that's like small, but Belgian coast, kind of fun.
Yeah. That's really cool, actually.
Town, like a cool, just really cool, nice people.
Yeah. I mean, I've had good
drinking
times.
strong beer, I've
had good times in Hamburg. I guess it's one of my favorite towns.
Dude, I've heard that Hamburg is like sick, and they actually have like a really cool like punk scene and stuff too.
Yeah, there's this venue, Astrostrube.
Oh, that's sick.
Astrostrube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of just under the they have an L there, so it's like under an L. And it's like just this weird triangle, which seems like impossibly small to have a show in, but then it gets packed. It's like the most fun show you can play at.
That is so dope. That sounds sick. Yeah, I was just in Berlin over summer, and I thought that city was like really sick too. Yeah, I was like staying in like this Airbnb or something with some people, and it ended up being like right next door, or like I guess the Airbnb was being run by some people that had like an art space / like venue. And I left my phone and ended up missing our train to get to the next country. And so I was just like talking to them and like walking around their co-op. And yeah, it's honestly really sick. Like they're just saying that they have like, like noise shows and stuff. I don't know. Seems sick.
What part of town are you in?
I forget which like part of Berlin it's at or like what the neighborhood was called. But yeah, I wish I could have explored more and like gone to some shows out there if I had time. But yeah, I don't know.
I rented an apartment in Berlin for a few weeks.
Oh, did you?
I really liked the street. It was the address was Ubenstrasse 69.
That's funny.
It's based.
Yeah.
Based.
That's sick. All right. Well, I guess we can move over to. Should we take this one right here where it says on the cover, Maddie?
Oh yeah, no, I did want to briefly ask about this because this continues to add to the synthesizers. But on the cover, switched on raw, you've got the oh goodness, what is it? The Krumar synthesizer.
Yeah.
And on the inside, there's a long list of all of the gear that you guys use, and you can enter it into eBay. You can go, wow, that's a lot of gear. But so it's a DS2, if I'm getting it correct.
Yeah.
And I looked at images just to see. It seems like a real meaty piece of equipment.
Yeah.
What was the first recording that utilized the Krumar, and why? What brings it so much joy? What sparks joy about that?
It was there basically from the beginning.
Oh,
that's sick.
Because that was just this. That was my synth. I still have it, but it's like forever. That was the synth I used. I used it in chandeliers. I used it in mahjong.
Nice.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
And then I guess just because it was the only thing I knew, it didn't seem weird to travel with it, even though it was like kind of impractical in some ways.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah. And then once I realized that also that's like, the synth, the Sun Ra synth, that was kind of like just kismet. It wasn't like, I didn't track it down. I bought it for $400.
Oh, really?
Thrift.
I guess I traded it for a synth I bought for $400.
Do they go like for more than that nowadays? Or
They do.
Okay.
They do. Sometimes when I want to buy a nice pair of shoes or something, I think it's selling it.
Yeah, you're just like, well, I got this thing in the closet. I could get some new Air Jordans.
One of the greatest ironies of my life was the first time we toured Europe when it was just Cooper and I. So I had that thing and I like talked my way onto the plane. And it was like a real son of a bitch to like talk to an Italian stewardess and like let her bring me on the plane.
Yeah.
To the point where like the pilot came out and he's like, yeah, it's fine. And I was like, dope.
That's honestly sick.
So when we get there, this whole tour is booked by this guy named Edu. And we get there and I show up and have gone through all this rigmarole. He's like, oh man, I got one of those. Like you could have just borrowed mine.
Dude, that is so funny, dude.
I didn't think to ask.
Well, like who else would have a DS2?
Yeah, it's like such a specific request for like backline or something, but that's funny.
Up until 2018 with Rebajas with collected the Obama years on CD. Y'all really don't do CDs. You're a strict tape and vinyl band. And I am just curious again, what's with the stylistic preference towards analog? Is there a certain context towards listening to the group that you all as a trio have kind of agreed to? Like, what's with the sound here?
I wouldn't say it's like overly dogmatic on just analog. It was more who buys CDs much anymore.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Of like if it's streaming and it's digital already, it's like
not necessarily a need for the CDs, I guess.
But there are kind of, I think, once our audience expanded to sort of like older heads who are like still like, no, dude, CDs. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
I have CDs just for the record.
Yeah, older heads, like I said.
And I'm CD gang. I'm tape gang. Thomas, you go for both and vinyl.
I buy CDs. I think CDs are sick.
I mean, I think our friend Riley Walker is single-handedly trying to bring the CDs back to.
Shout out to him,
dude. Also,
like
will you do a CD for Husky Pants? You think?
Depends what his rates are.
It's not out of the question.
That's not out of the question.
You did do the vinyl, was that the Kikigaku Moyo one I'm thinking? I want to say you guys have one with him, but I might be bluffing.
But yeah, I think we're thinking also again of like after maybe the next record or two doing another full CD run.
Oh, that'd be cool.
A record after this. Who knows? I mean, knock on
wood.
Knock on Matt Schneider's wood floor. Yeah, it was just sort of just seemed like with the availability of digital music on your computer, what's really
I see.
Where's the profit in CDs?
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like at least in like the last like year or two, I feel like CDs have actually kind of like taken off again. I've been seeing like a lot of like just labels and bands offering it.
Some would argue it's the best sounding things.
That's
some would say.
Yeah, some would say.
They still rock CDs hard, man.
Oh, do they? That's cool.
Yeah, they're just like, this is the best. Why would you do something different?
Although, like, if there was going to be another Bajas CD box set, what if it got like loudness ward? You know, what if it got compressed to hell and there was just a big loudness war thing? Nobody wants that.
I do think Cooper would put his foot down about that one. If I know him.
We got a couple of performances that I guess we wanted to throw to some attention. This one always stuck out to me because I watched it a lot during summer of 2015. Could you elaborate on the context behind the trio's 2018 appearance on Fish Center Live? One of my favorite programs.
Oh, I mean, they just asked.
That's just it.
Yeah, I'd never seen that show, or I didn't know anything about it. I don't know.
It was great.
Yeah,
it's really funny. We got to go to like, the headquarters there in Atlanta, and you walk through the office, and like the fish tank in the office is the one. They just have the camera set up next to it, and that's like the one. It's just
one of you is wearing a green shirt, and so the fish are on top.
Yeah.
Cooper really chose wisely that day.
Were you guys big Space Ghost heads, or kind of like early aughts Adult Swim?
I was a Space Ghost guy. Where it's like
what?
In my kind of high school stony years, and like just like the fact that like Sonny Chirac was on it kind of like was a nice melding of worlds for my teenage brain.
Oh yeah,
that's sick.
And then later on in 2019, I know you guys had played Pitchfork Fest before, but you were called back as a special replacement for I think it was Tirza when she had to cancel. And I don't know, it kind of brings up like, how has it been playing Pitchfork Fest? Has that been good for y'all's audience? Again, how receptive is a crowd at that festival to music like this? It seems more.
I think it's safe to say we're not exactly a festival band, but yeah, it was fun at Pitchfork. And the second time we played, it was on the more intimate stage, which was I think a little bit better than being like
on a huge stage,
the most gigantic stage, which was like the first time. So,
Oh
yeah.
That's how that went down. You know, some people start ready to listen to music that heavy in the morning. You know, but some people are like, "Oh, this is a great way to start the day."
Yeah, and also the festival usually starts out with a local band or two.
Yeah,
so like people know that, and it's not the same audience as like that came to see the Roots or came to see the late night headliners.
Yeah.
Well, like Mike Reed, who we're doing albums with now, like he's part of the booking team there.
Oh,
so you'll kind of see the Sunday first show. Like that's a Mike Reed choice. It'll often be like a local Chicago, like sort of experimental band. So
that's pretty sick. Actually, that's cool.
That's beautiful. No, I always love those bands. And
for all you booking your tickets early, remember Sunday first.
Yeah, right.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, I think that kind of like does it for the questions that we wrote, but we got a couple listener questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Posted up some listener questions. You guys got a couple.
Yeah.
You got a couple listeners. Congrats.
Thank you both.
Props.
Did you guys want to take them?
Yeah.
Okay. They're kind of just funny. This one says, are they going to release an album called Baja Blast?
It's almost happened.
Really? That's
like,
sick.
Our puns, we think of them, you know, we luckily walked off the ledge of Bitcoin Bajas.
Yes, I was going to ask.
That would have been so sick if you like named it that.
It was there for a second, but we're like,
Baja Blast would be like maybe if we do like an all brass album. You know?
Yeah. That'd be sick. So are you guys like fans of Baja Blast? Like the drink? Do you guys like go to Taco Bell? Are you guys fans?
Don't really like drinking things that are blue. Yeah. I mean, like,
yeah.
No, just kidding. But I think we got that one. I think Baja's Fresh is probably good enough.
Yeah, Baja's Fresh is honestly, yeah.
What has been honestly maybe the best title you guys are, or the title you're like proudest of you're going to have on your tombstone?
I like Bitchatronics.
Oh, I got that right over here. That's one of the few I've got.
Bitchatronics.
Yeah.
That's so funny, actually. That's good. Okay, I guess that is all of the last listener question, actually. But this one, I was going to ask it earlier, but I kind of wanted to like ask it still. So I saw on your blog, Rob, that you're doing like Birdscapes radio or something. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Sure. It was more of like a one-time thing, like to try like a free form radio thing, radio program that just like kind of reached around the globe. There's like a day for International Dawn Chorus Day. And so I don't know. I just have like friends in lots of places that are all interested in birds and like bird sound. And so I just kind of like hosted a radio show on the internet.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
How'd you get involved in like birding? Like, how'd you get into that?
I got into it in college in Chicago. There's like it's a lot of migrant birds come through in the spring and fall that aren't resident, but you can kind of see almost anything here during that time. So it's exciting. And just got into birds, like actually over in Lincoln Park, right next to the conservatory where the piece is on right now. There's like a lily pond next to there. And anyway, yeah, just birding it's a really fun, it becomes an obsession if you like can access it. Like, I guess, yeah. And then like the sounds to me are just really neat. Like, just the idea that these, you know, creatures just like you and me, like kind of have evolved for such a long time with sound as like a major component of like their daily, you know, life history, I guess. Like, so yeah, there's just a lot going on in there. You can break it down, slow it down. It just is like it's almost alien, even though it's like on Earth. So, yeah,
That's
shout out
cool,
to
dude.
birds.
Yeah, shout out birds. That's sick. Birds are cool. I listened to this radio show, or we used to air it on KCSB.
Great show.
Yeah, but they also have it on like streaming services and stuff. But it's called Bird Note. Have you heard of it?
What's it called?
Bird Note.
Bird Note. Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Yes,
Dude, Bird Note is so sick. I went to a radio
Yeah.
conference once, and the people that produced that show were there, and they had a few birds with them. It was
Do they
so
play
sick.
bird songs on Bird Note? What
Well,
goes on Bird Note?
So Bird Note, what it is, it's like they choose like a bird every episode, and they just give you like it's like I think it's really only like a 3-minute long show. So it's kind of just like
Okay.
sick to throw in between like people's radio shows and stuff, you know, when
Mhm.
people are like switching over. And
They just like break down what's up with the bird.
yeah, so they'll just like
Mhm.
talk about like a bird, you know, the bird, like talk about like its migration patterns if it does that, or like, you know, where it lives, like what it eats, all that stuff. And they'll play like, you know, it's like, you know, it's tweets, I guess. I don't know.
Mhm. Vocalizations,
yeah, it's
whatever,
vocalizations, yeah. And it's like so cool. I think it's like one of the coolest things ever. I was listening to it a lot for a while, like because they're so short. Like if you just click on it on like Spotify or something, you'll just like run through a bunch of episodes, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's just great to listen to.
For listeners in California, there's a neat group called Institute for Bird Populations that they work all over the state, and I've got the chance to work with them for a few seasons too.
Oh, that's sick.
And it's like man, like just bird research is just fascinating. Like people, like I'm just a guy with ears that, you know, and like
Some
I mean, like,
binoculars,
2
yeah.
years and a heart, Rob.
yeah, yeah.
Ears and
Brain in
heart.
between there somewhere, but I mean, like, yeah, it's just fascinating. The Institute for Bird Populations.
Well, can I ask you a question, Rob?
Sure.
Are there any birds you're looking forward to spotting in California?
Yeah, it'll be neat to get back out to like the Western species. I mean, I don't know how much we'll be like stopping to like really spend like on the side of the road, but
There's
there's
when you get up.
some neat, yeah. There's some cool sparrows out there. I like the 5-striped sparrow.
Oh, that's cool.
Head out.
Yeah.
There's also if you're able to stop through like Santa Barbara, I know like there's a snowy plover sanctuary too on the beach, where you like
Nice.
can't walk on the beach, but there's this bunch of snowy plovers over there.
Mhm.
I guess they might be in a lot of places, but anyways, that's a cool little place to check out. And then also in the Los Padres National Forest, which is like behind Santa Barbara and stuff, like they have a big
Mhm.
condor sanctuary. So there's a bunch of condors over there. I don't know. It's sick to see them. I'm always like backpacking and stuff with like my friends and stuff. So it's like kind of like a rare treat when you actually get to see a condor flying back there. Yeah.
I have some friends who had a job where it was like going around to pick up basically dead cattle. Like if a rancher had a cattle pass away, they would call and like somebody could come pick it up to go feed to the condors.
Really? That is so interesting.
Because they need like large dead things, which is part of the reason they're not around anymore, because there aren't a lot of large dead things around anymore either. But
Oh, really? That makes sense then. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I never really thought about that. Well, anyways, guys, that's cool. Looking forward to possibly catching like your LA show and stuff. Your guys' tour is coming up. Yeah. So where are you guys playing? I guess just for anybody listening, if they are interested in the Bitchin Bajas, where can people find more information about you guys? Like where can people catch your tour?
dragcity.com
is where I also find out where I'm playing.
Hell yeah.
dragcity.com. They have a
www.
Oh, yeah.
www.dragcity.com. There it is. Hell yeah. Do you guys have any socials or anything?
We're playing on the 8th at the Crepe Place in Santa Cruz.
Oh, hell yeah.
February 8th, that is. The 9th at the Chapel in San Francisco.
So sick.
The 10th at the Miniplex in Arcata, California.
Tight.
The 11th at the Henry Miller Library in Big Sur. The 12th at the Lodge Room in Los Angeles. And then on the 13th at Peppy and Harriet's in
Oh, that's cool.
Pioneer.
You
Have
guys
you
are
done
playing?
a Pioneer Town show before?
We have.
Oh, those are lovely. I've always wanted to go out and see one. So have a lovely time.
I know.
Yeah, we did one that was like in the in-between of Coachillas.
Interesting.
Oh,
So it's sort of like a bit more, I think, different than most shows are there.
So was there just like a lot of like Coachella people there, I guess?
Yes.
I think that time it was
Interesting.
outside, and this time we'll be inside.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's
It's
cool.
very interesting to set up synths and computers in the sand. Just seems unnatural.
Yeah, that seems
Yeah.
kind of dangerous.
Or maybe it's the most natural thing in the world. And humans will evolve.
I think that what's it called? Big Sur show would be sick. You guys are playing in a library in Big Sur?
Yeah.
That sounds
Apparently that's where the shows happen there.
Oh, that's really cool actually. I've never gone to a show in Big Sur, but I feel like I just imagine that being really sick.
Yeah, I think it'll be a heady tour, like overall.
Tight.
It's a good little West Coast tour. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're actually making shirts for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Whoa.
really? Wow. You guys screen
Yeah.
printing them yourselves, or how's that going down?
Yeah, I mean, a friend of ours is kind of spearheading the operation. But we're really excited to put like the tour dates of just California on the back.
Yeah, Cooper.
Oh,
did a
yeah,
great
that's
job
actually
booking
really
this one.
cool.
Yeah.
It's been, I think, maybe a time or two where we wanted to come out to California and just it didn't work out like financially, and or it's like it's a long way to drive, so we're flying this time.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Cooper did a great job booking this one. We're really happy everything worked out to get to play at a place like Henry Miller Library. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, that's dope.
The only thing that sucks is we're not playing Ojai.
It's we'll
Sorry,
catch you.
Ohio.
We'll catch you next time, guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Let's go and for San Diego, but we get it.
yeah. San Diego too. I have a friend down there. We were chatting about different places to try, and in the end, it didn't work.
So are you being in Escondido, are you a JJ Cale fan?
You know, that's a really good question. My parents do have the Eric Clapton JJ Cale collaborative album. I never got into him myself.
I would not start with that one
Yep.
on the road to Escondido.
Yep.
Because actually one of our unknown Bitchin Bajas side projects is we have a JJ Cale cover band
Really?
called Jaja Cale.
That is so sick.
And Matt Schneider's in it.
And Matt Schneider played it.
Oh my goodness. There's a whole universe of people there. Goodness.
I highly recommend you to just start from the first JJ Cale record, listen to the first 5.
There we
That's all I'm
go.
gonna say.
The first 5 JJ Cale records. There it is, everybody. If you want to get into JJ Cale. Guys, so I have one more question here. It's kind of the biggest one of the show.
Rut-row.
Yeah, row. You guys want to take it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to take it, Matt, or you want me to take it?
I guess I'll go for it.
Okay, for sure.
So again, you guys got invited back. Congratulations, 2023 Pitchfork Fest. Woo, you're playing that Sunday opening show. And on the intimate stage, you guys are really excited to get up there. You're setting up all your gear, but oh my goodness, there's a bunch of white little lab rats that are on stage, and they're running right at you, and they're gonna jump in your mouth. You just get to choose the option if that rat, this white lab rat's gonna jump in your mouth head first or butt first. Dan and Rob, what are you choosing?
Head
And-
first.
Head first, rock on.
Why?
Seems the easiest way to kill it.
Oh my God, that's intense.
Yeah,
But
they bite its head off.
yeah,
Brutal. You've taken it down. You have eviscerated the rat.
he's Ozzy. He's pulling an Ozzy.
Yeah.
His inner Ozzy. That's sick.
Known enemies of humans, rats.
Whoa.
They spread disease.
They
These are
honestly
what
do. Yeah.
Well,
If
then they're all kind of bionic or some shit. I don't know what's going on in that lab.
They're smart.
Yeah.
they're chipped.
That's
Um,
good to be afraid. There's nothing irrational about this fear. Not at all.
Yeah.
How about you, Rob?
I think head first. I mean,
As a band, we kind of have to be united. on
yeah,
this one.
United
Yeah,
Front.
I feel that. That's sick. Maddie always makes the question super nice. I always say it's like a master splinter style rat, like
Oh.
pulling a pizza down a Chicago subway. Like, you know that video? Have you seen that like viral video of like the fat rat pulling the pizza down the stairs?
Oh, is that
No.
in Chicago? Is that where that happens?
I always assumed it was Chicago, but I have no idea.
It's New York. It's a New
That's
York.
Oh, is it New York? I don't know. I just assumed it's Chicago for some reason.
Well, we put our garbage in the alleys like civilized people, so we have less rats than New York.
Oh, hell yeah. That's sick. Good.
Shots
for-
fired.
Yeah. Yeah, take that, New York. Chicago's a better city. All right. Well, anyways, guys, that's all we have for today. Thanks for tuning into TBD on KCSB FM 91.9 every Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. and NetNet Radio out of Tijuana every Saturday, 4 p.m. This has been Dan and Rob from the Bitchin Bajas. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.